wow, that cannon was actually warped in just in time. I'm not sure if Stork...
He has an observer there anyway.
Is that a...
Oh my god, he built a Dark Archon. Why did he build a Dark Archon? What the hell is he doing?
Oh! Wow, what a fake from JangBi. After dropping that DT, he backed up with a shuttle and Stork started chasing and then dropping the High Templar. So JangBi, excellent play there. And not only did he spot the Dark Archon, but he was able to take out a lot of probes. And
I think he killed the
What
Dark
do you
Archon.
think that means? Why do you think he built that Dark Archon?
I have no idea, man. I mean, the only use that I ever found for Dark Archons in PvP is hoping to mind control shuttle. Maybe that's why he is building it, who knows. But I mean, it's much more effective if it's earlier in the game and the guy has Reavers in the shuttles. If you can mind control a shuttle with 2 Reavers in it, that's huge. It looks like he's just going to use it to feed back Templar.
He got a kill.
What a baller. Yeah, okay, so the thing survived. I mean, I guess you can. That's effective. It almost doesn't even seem worth the APM because the other player. I mean, especially once he gets on 3 base, he's gonna have so many Templars that even if you feed back 1 or 2 of them, it's really not gonna make a huge difference. But I guess it's something. If you have the APM to spare, if you're a pro gamer, it might actually work out in his favor. I mean, if we actually get to see him use that effectively, that's gonna be a first for me, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. Like. Go Stork.
Right, and keep in mind too, our reaction to a Dark Archon. Imagine JangBi's reaction. Seeing he's probably just like,
yeah, really. He must be like, what? What?
Especially, you know, it'd be one thing if you see a Dark Archon in an iCup game or something, but to see a Dark Archon in the semifinals of the MSL versus Stork, it's like, really? So anyway,
he's
JangBi's gotta be wondering. So this is lots of mind games here, but still. You have to imagine too that army mix is a real important part of PvP, and JangBi actually expanding. Oh no, that isn't an expansion. That's a pylon. I don't know if that was placed there by Stork to block the thing. It looked like it was blocking the Nexus place. But it looks like both players actually expanding. Stork's a little bit harder to see because he's in green, and Stork using a single Dragoon and a Dark Archon there, kind of threatening. And like I was saying though, army mix is a real important part, and so you can't just produce 50 High Templar in presumptions that you're going to put out Infinity Storms. You need to spend some of your gas on Dragoons and Archons. So if he has a certain amount of, oh my god, 3 kills on the Dark Archon.
Wow, but did he feedback 2 High Wow, what a baller. This is so awesome.
This is crazy. This is awesome from Stork.
I love it. This is cool as shit. And you know, I think that one of the best parts about that Dark Archon is that it prevents the enemy from getting forward storms on you. Like a lot of the time, especially if you leave your army just kind of sitting around, the guy will sneak up a High Templar and try to get some storms off, or when he attacks, he'll send him some High Templars to the front of his army and get forward storms off, get the first storms off. And really, with a Dark Archon, you prevent that completely. I mean, that is if it has some energy on it, which it doesn't now because he just killed 2 High Templars. But that's something in and of itself. You know what, though? Looking at this right now, it looks to me like JangBi's got the bigger army. But it's not enough of it. I think it's just a slight advantage, and it might not even be true because Stork.
It's probably just from those probes from the storm drop. Probably a slight deviance.
But he didn't get that many. I think it's just because he's been slightly ahead all game. Like he took his expansion first. But you know what? It's not enough of an advantage that's going to allow him to attack across the bridges, and that's where those bridges make a huge difference. I mean, it's just so much harder to be offensive. Getting bottlenecked on those bridges makes a huge difference. Even if you have a small advantage here, you might have map control on a normal map, but on this map, you don't have map control.
Oh wow, looks like JangBi's gonna disagree. Oh no, never mind.
No, he's just kind of dancing around trying to find holes, hoping that Stork maybe gets sloppy, but it's just not gonna happen. I mean, Stork's a pro gamer. This is his strategy. He knows that every second that he prevents JangBi from attacking, the game is equalizing. Especially because I think Stork actually got his third up a little before JangBi. Stork's actually taking the 4th base. And
wow.
Okay, JangBi moving out now. Oh, JangBi just getting stormed to shit here. Oh my god. See, that's those bridges for you. I mean, he can only get some of his army up, and by the time he gets his army really going across the bridge, he's already getting stormed to pieces. Oh, looks like he's gonna go for some more Templar snipe. Oh, he got another one. The Dark Archon goes down, but that thing has killed 4 High Templars, so I think it definitely paid for itself. That's, what, 600 gas right there that he just sniped with that one. Yeah, so that definitely paid for itself. I'm hoping that he makes another one, actually.
That would be awesome, and especially if he has anything like mind control researched or Maelstrom, and Stork looks like taking the base, and if he throws that Nexus down, he's going to be a little bit ahead of JangBi. Both players taking their mid only, but that DT's going to stop that probe. Good move from JangBi, especially just like you said. You can't really attack over the bridges, and it's going to be a long time before there's going to be a real decisive battle. So you need to do small things like both of these players are doing, taking their expansion slightly faster, getting those feedbacks off, Dark Templar harassment, and JangBi getting warded off by those cannons. Dark Templar just barely surviving. And another thing too, both of these players constantly moving their army around. This is just how important army positioning is. You need to keep your army moving around the battlefield at all times. You can't really be set up for a flank. And I mean, look at JangBi right now. Look at his army just move back and forth across the minimap. It's just crazy.
Yeah, both of these guys. It's crazy. In fact, I couldn't even do this because I would misclick so many times in trying to keep moving my entire army together like this entire time. And both players have been doing it kind of constantly. You know, one thing that just occurred to me is that Dark Archon would be really useful because in late game PvP, what you want to do is you want to get arbiters, and it's a great way to kind of turn the tide in your favor. If you can get an arbiter, and you can, wow, Stork is actually going to sneak in some zealots here, and he's going to try to do some economic damage. He might actually, okay, he's just going to take out some cannons here, not going to do a lot of damage. Is Bisu, oh sorry, Best. Is Best, I thought Best was actually going to try to attack there for a moment.
Best?
Best? Sorry?
Best?
No, yeah, it looked like Best was actually gonna run across the bridges there for a second.
Best?
I thought he was going to. Yeah, Best.
4 in the morning, bro. This is Stork versus JangBi?
Oh, no shit. No wonder you kept saying Best. I don't know, man.
It's alright, man.
I'm sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. We actually have been talking about Best for quite a while before this. We
watched, no, don't blame Daz. We were just watching some Best games and stuff, so yeah. I don't blame him at all. Oh wow, look at Stork.
Stork has managed to get his army across the bridges. He found the hole and he got his army across, and they're going to go for an engagement. It all depends on the storms here. It depends whose storms are better. You know what? JangBi definitely got the better positioning, but Stork's storms were crazy, and all of the things... Wow, no, JangBi just cleaned up right here. So many Archons. Well, this is really close, man. It's hard to tell. Stork's got a group of Zealots down at the bottom. JangBi's definitely got more Archons, but JangBi has lost all of his Zealots, and Stork's got a group of Zealots just kind of cleaning up the Dragoons there. It looks like most of the Archons have gone down, and it looks like it's going to end up being pretty much an even battle. Both players just kind of trading armies. And Stork, okay, Stork's actually going to come out slightly ahead here, but it's not going to be a huge difference. JangBi's still going to be able to not take any damage. He's going to be able to hold off all the expansions that he does have. And Stork putting up a Nexus there. Hopefully that Nexus was cancelled and not sniped.
No, he killed that. The kills on the DTs went up.
Really?
That's bad for Stork. Wait, he just lost 300 minerals there. And look at JangBi has the mid, well, not really the mid left, the more, I guess the 8 o'clock position. If you want to be fair. He has that expansion, so he's been using that DT and Arbiter Tribunal out for JangBi.
I'm surprised the Stork
so we actually are going to see Arbiters, and yeah, but it seems like, well, Stork is only on 3 gas. He hasn't actually secured that right base, so I guess maybe. I don't play high-end PvP, but maybe it's the 4th gas that triggers that late-game Arbiter, because now that JangBi has it, he's getting his Arbiter tech out. He has a fair amount of... Oh, okay, excuse me, man. I don't know, I'm just talking on a man's. But look at Stork's unit composition. He's almost primarily Zealot. Look at JangBi. I mean, sure, he has a lot of Zealots, but he's got some Archons and Dragoons, but the Stork's is almost pure Zealots. It seems kind of strange that he's going so heavy. Especially because JangBi has a lot of Archons. We see in the first game, and I just want to point out in that engagement that Stork kind of ran his Zealots around the Archons, and JangBi's Archons were targeting the Dragoons, whereas Archons are almost primarily made just to kill Zealots. So Stork did an excellent job of in-game battle micro, and even though I think he got a little bit out macroed by JangBi, he definitely showed a better engagement. He had okay positioning, and he had better storms, I think, and his Zealot controls
JangBi had better positioning.
He was able to keep all of those alive. JangBi's positioning was better, but considering that Stork just ran across the bridges, I think his positioning was fair enough to note.
Yeah, no, he did a good job, but he definitely had the positioning disadvantage and the macro disadvantage, but he made up for it with better storms and like you were talking about, better army control.
But this
now
JangBi's
got that Arbiter.
Yeah, JangBi's got the Arbiter on, and JangBi has that other base.
Yeah, so Stork is definitely behind in this game, although it's not a huge difference. At this point, the most important thing in PvP is what you do with your army. Because both players have a massive amount of gateways and they're going to be able to macro up their armies up relatively quickly. So even if JangBi is mining a little bit more, as long as Stork gets his base up quickly and he prevents JangBi from getting that base as well, then he's going to be okay. But it's all going to come down to what happens in the battle, and that looks like it's going to be in JangBi's favor because JangBi's got that Arbiter. And if you get one good stasis
Stork is
off,
attacking again.
Wow, he's actually going for the attack here. But this might not be a bad idea because he's doing it before JangBi gets stasis on his Arbiter. When JangBi looks like he's going for a counter, or he's going to maybe try to trap Stork's army on his side.